Hello and welcome to Ballroom Dance Pros. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to properly enter your first dance competition with your student, your poem student. Now, if you have been teaching for a franchise dance studio, for example, Arthur Murray, Fred Astaire's, and some other studio, uh, you might not know how to fill out a form, how to actually go. You might not even know the details that a dance competition has. So, because the manager of the dance studio, sometimes they do that for you and you just show up and dance. So in this video, I want to give you all the details that you need to know when you are becoming an independent instructor, or you are just a brand new instructor. You never worked for any company before. You just, decided to be an instructor, and you like to do a dance competition with your students. So let's keep on watching. Why would you want to compete with your student if you are a brand new instructor? Well, there could be a couple scenarios. Normally, it's like two scenarios. If you have a student that has friends and her friends, they compete, well, then she also might want to compete. She might ask you, hey, can we do a competition? My friends, they compete up north, and I like to compete as well. Okay, that's a scenario. Next scenario will be that you ask the student, hey, there's a small comp coming up next, in a few months. I can get you ready and do your first event. Stuff like that. So those two scenarios very common. I'll tell you for the first scenario, if a student asks you to do a dance competition and you don't want to for whatever reason, whether you don't like the fact of you going to be judged by judge, right? Or you don't feel ready, then by all means say that I'm not interested in dance competition, period. Okay, because I know a lot of instructors that don't like dance competition. They only like showcases, something fun, for the student. So just tell the student that. Okay, now if you are interested in dance competition, then keep watching, because I'm gonna give you lots of tips to how you can prepare your student for the first time. Okay, now your first time, you as an instructor, you cannot look like a beginner on the dance floor yourself. What I mean by a beginner is that you can be a good dancer and still look like a beginner because you are not using the proper material for your dance competition. Okay? For example, if you are competing with a student and your student is brand new to dancing, you're gonna be doing a syllabus, which is like a bronze or silver goal. I will assume that if you're competing with a brand new student, you will need to do a newcomer bronze or beginner bronze, or both, or even more, depending on how many entries the student wants to do. So I would suggest that the first thing you have to do is to start preparing yourself as an instructor. Okay, because the students, they don't need to know you never competed before. I'm not saying you have to lie to them, but if you don't know anything, if they ask you questions and you cannot answer those questions, you're gonna look like you never competed before. Okay, whereas if you study, if you know all the details about dance competition, you will look like you know about dance competition. It will look like you have been competing, and they can see you as an expert. Okay, so you need to position yourself as an expert even if you never competed before. So this is what you're gonna do. First, start studying all the syllabus for every style, whether you do an American or international. Study both, okay, American and international. Now I suggest, if you're competing with someone for the very first time, do American style. It's a lot easier to work with, it's a lot easier for the student, and a lot easier for you as a teacher as well, unless you have been teaching for years you never competed, but you have been teaching and you know the style very well, then that's a different story. But if you're a new instructor and you're preparing for your first dance competition, the chances is that you don't know international style much, because it takes, most people that know international styles are kind of advanced instructor. I would say that. But if this is the case, that's good. But for this video, I would suggest that for brand new instructor to teach American style only for the dance competition. Okay. So the first thing you're gonna do is learn your syllabus. I would suggest studying both American smooth and American rhythm. Okay, the American rhythm has many dances. For the beginning, I would say that focus on the social type of dance. For example, you will do the cha-cha, the rumba, the swing. I will skip the bolero and the mambo and add instead the hustle, the merengue, the bachata. Those will be the dances I will do with a beginner student. Okay, so but that doesn't mean you as an instructor should be focusing only on those dances. You should really be familiar with all the dances in the American rhythm group. Cha-cha, rumba, swing, bolero, mambo, those are the 5 primary dances. But add the social fun dance such as the salsa, merengue, bachata, hustle, even West Coast swing, those will really help you becoming a better teacher and a dancer. Then, of course, you're going to do the smooth as well, the waltz, the foxtrot, the tango, the Viennese. But for a brand new student, you will not want to do Viennese waltz yet. So you will focus on the waltz, foxtrot, tango. After you study the smooth and the rhythm syllabus, and you have to now put a small routine for your student. Now, you might need to start in a group setting. For example, you can have group 1, which is, for example, let's say, I'm talking about American rumba, right? You can do the box step, followed by a walk underarm turn, followed by, basic stuff. You put 3 to 5 steps together, and that's group 1. And then group 2, you put another 3 to 5 steps together, that's group 2. And then you connect them, and then you do the same thing for group 3. Okay? So normally if you have 3 groups, that's sometimes enough to make a routine, because you're only gonna be dancing for 1 minute. Now after you do that, you actually need to do that for all dances. All the dances you're gonna be teaching your student to prepare for the dance competition. Because remember, you have to look like an expert, even if you never competed before. Okay? So you gotta know. You can't not know, okay? Because the worst that can happen to you, you go to a dance floor and a competition, first of all, you have no clue what material to use, and you pretend to know, and then you go to the dance competition, you start dancing, and then the invigilator, which is a police judge, call you out and tell you that, what are you doing? You are not using approved material. So when that happens, you feel like, oh boy. And some invigilators are very mean. They call you in front of your student. Now you look like you really don't know what you're doing. Of course, they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to call you on the side, tell you in advance. But, if your student follows you, I'm telling you, it's better to know what you are teaching and know the material, and not regret later that you didn't do that. So that's the first thing. After your material, you know them very well, you put them in a small group of syllabus. I can tell you myself, I don't have a routine for my brand new student. I have groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, which I can add at any time. My Group 1 doesn't need to be started first. No, because it's Group 1, that doesn't mean I have to start it first. No. If I start Group 1 first, Group 2 second, Group 3 third, that means I have a routine. No, I don't have a routine. I have the groups that I can execute anytime. That gives me the freedom to dance, number one. Number two, for the student, they dance a lot better. I mean, when I have brand new students, I give them routine. When I first started to teach, a lot of my students kind of forget the routine, and then as for some reason they could not recover from that mistake. It's hard for them to recover when they forget something. So, since then, I decided I'm not gonna have a routine. I'm just gonna dance with them. They follow me, and as a result, I'm telling you, big improvement on the dance floor. They are more connected to me because they don't know what's coming up. They know the group, but they have to be connected. Okay, so that's how I do it, and it's been working for me for a long time. And I still do that. Okay, now I don't do that for more advanced students. For example, when I have an open routine, yes, it is all choreographed because the student is able to handle an open routine. I also don't do that for international style because it's already difficult. So another reason for international style is also because it's not a social dance, So they have to focus, and most of the time the student they take more lesson. I can't teach anybody do international style unless they come 3 times a week. Whereas American rhythm, I have students that compete with once a week dance lessons. So that's the reason. Once a week dance lesson, it's not easy to build a routine, and whereas so for international style, because it's a lot more complicated, so I tend to have a routine from beginning to the end, and they know the routine, they study it, they perform it, and because international style, they practice a lot more. And I do international only with students that has either talent or time. If you have talent, yes. If you have time, you can take more lesson, yes. But the average student that's brand new, one more detail, I don't do international with brand new student. That's a no-no, unless my next competition is a year from now or 6 months from now. Whereas I can do a competition with someone brand new within 6 weeks if I do American. I cannot do that for international. I can't. I don't think any instructor can tell you they're gonna be able to do that unless they're lying. Of course, if I have 6 weeks to the international style, if I pick one dance, I can do that. But who wants to go to a dance competition to do just one dance? Normally you want to have 3 to 4 dances under your belt. So recently I took a student from 0 to 6 weeks and do 6 dance. No, actually, I did 5 dances in American rhythm and 3 dances in American smooth. That's 8 dances in 6 weeks for a dance competition. Her first competition, and of course she did very well. I will not be able to do that for international style. That's completely out. So what I'm trying to say is focus on American style if you are a brand new instructor. Okay? Now, after you do that, you have everything ready. Go to the ndca.org, and start looking for dance competition that is kind of local. A local camp is something that is as in our city. I would say between 30 to 2 hours. Within 2 hours of driving is considered local. If it's more than that, then it's gonna require a lot more. But it's still doable, even if it's 2 or 3 hours away. But pick a local dance competition, okay? And also pick a small one day dance competition for your first event. Then after that, go to the organizer website, print out the form, and some organizers don't have the form on the website, so you have to contact this particular organizer, and then they can send it to via email. and also ask for the price. You know, a lot of forms that has a price are not on the website. So you have to contact the organizer to give you the password, because a lot of them are password protected. You cannot just see it. They do that for many reasons, which I'm not gonna go to that. I'm not going through it now, but one day I will explain why they do that in another video. So, but yeah, the form with the price is password protected. So contact the organizer, introduce yourself either via email or via phone call. Tell them that you are intended to coming to the event and you need the form, blah blah blah, and they will give you the password so that you can log in and print, because every competition is different. Sometimes a single entry is $30. Sometimes it's 35, 40, 50, 60, depending on which event you do. So you can't tell your student how much they're gonna pay you unless you know in advance, okay? So that's why that. Now you have the form. You have the students form, you know, because you're gonna tell them which dance they're gonna do, which category they're going to enter, which age group you're gonna go over all those details with them. It's so important so that you present yourself as an expert. That means you have to know in advance. And if you're watching this, that's good, because I'm giving you all the details you need, okay? So then you're ready to go. You're ready to tell your student, to explain to the student about everything that has to happen for the first competition. So let's go over what we talk about. First, you as an instructor, you study your material that you're going to be using for the dance competition, okay? Both smooth and rhythm, okay? I told you to pick American rhythm because it's a lot easier, okay? And the dances for a newcomer person should be a cha-cha, rumba, swing, bachata, merengue, hustle, skip the bolero, skip the mambo, okay? Then for smooth should be waltz, foxtrot, tango, and skip the Viennese waltz. Now, that's one. Two, if the student is know already how to dance, it's not a brand new student, then yes, you can add bolero, you can add mambo, you can add Viennese waltz, okay? But brand new person, first time, I will skip those dances. Okay, two, then contact, go to ndca.org, competition calendar tab, and you will see what competition is close to you. Pick a local one-day comp. Don't go to multiple days yet. One-day comp. And also one thing I forget to mention, give yourself at least 3 months of preparation. Don't go to a competition because it's local, but it's next month. You don't have enough time for next month. So give yourself 3 months, okay? 3 months, you will be more ready, your student will be more ready, and everybody will be happier. They will dance better, okay? So if they have more time in training. So remember, 3 months at least. All right, then you go to dance competition, you print out the form, and what else? And you're good, okay? You know the form, you call the organizer, they give you the password to print your form. And last thing to do, as you get closer to the comp, you need to register yourself and your student also as an NDCA member, because there's a form you have to fill out, and there's a charge for that. As of now, the student paid $25 per year. For professional, I think it's $50. It could have been more, but you will see that you have to register as a member to compete in program dance competition for NDCA event. So that's all good for now. If you do all this, you should be able to compete with your student and have a successful dance competition. The next part I'm gonna talk about will be for the student, how the student should be preparing him or herself. So stay tuned for the next video. Thank you, guys. If you like this type of content, please subscribe to this channel. It costs nothing, it's free, and it takes only a second. So thank you. I'll keep posting content like this. Thank you. Bye-bye.